Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to Madam and whoever watched this video later. Okay, my name is Nur Kamalia binti Kamaruddin and I would like to start first with what I've learned in team intervention or chapter 11. Okay, for the next subtopic, my group will proceed later after my turn. Okay, first of all, team intervention, like Dr. Shikin said just now, team intervention is actually the most common applications in OD intervention, and there's a few types of team intervention which are self-directed work teams, virtual teams, and also the cross-functional team. All right, so before we're going to detail about this special types of team, we're gonna look into the differences between team and group. Okay, so basically before this, most of people doesn't know about the differences between group and team. They also, like, okay, for example, okay, there's a 10 to 15 people there and they said that's a group, but it's actually, okay, yes, that one is a group, but there's somebody else said that one is a team. Okay, so actually group and team have differences in terms of meaning, in terms of the characteristics and etc. So we're going to look what is the differences between team and group. Okay, first is a group. Group is actually require a lot of people, a lot of individual, and they don't rely on each other compared to team. Okay, so team required a small number of individuals, small number of people, and they do rely on each other, on their team members. And then for the group, they actually perform same job tasks. For example, in the factory, this group gonna do something like handling the component of the car, and this group handling for maybe for the machines, the engines, and something like that. And then for the team, they require the complementary skills, and they also committed to the common purposes. Next, about the common problems. Okay, so common problems is actually due to like lower performances of employees, like that. Okay, what is the common problems? Is the first one, from what Dr. Shikin said just now. The first one is ambiguity of team goals. It's like duplicate work, duplicate your co-workers job or something like that. And unclear expectations, might be unclear expectations, mismatched expectations for the communication, and also inability to successfully manage the conflict. Okay, we go back about the special types of teams just now, which are the self-directed work teams, virtual teams, and also cross-functional teams. So I'm going to start with self-directed work teams. Self-directed work teams actually something like they're prone to special challenges compared to others, and this group or of interdependent, highly trained employee who are responsible for managing themselves and the work they do. They actually like handle a wide area of function or work with a minimum of supervision. And the characteristics of self-directed work team ni is wide variety of responsibility. They sorting out roles and responsibilities to monitor result and taking action, if any, and also resistance from the leadership. The skills required for this team is, the first one is significant leadership commitment, and they must have or develop the trust between the management, and they need to have a willingness to invest their time, their money, for training development of the teams. So for the next, I'm gonna proceed it with my group members.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurazan Muhammad Razali. Special types of team. Many organizations employ different types of team to accomplish certain tasks. These three the most used special types of team in which they actually solve a unique set of contemporary challenges in organization, and they also present unique difficulties to overcome. Firstly, special types of team, which is a self-directed work teams, also called as self-managed work teams. Self-directed work team is a group of interdependent, highly trained employees who are responsible for managing themselves and the work they do. They set their own goals in cooperation with management, and the team plans how to achieve those goals and how their work is to be accomplished. Employees on a self-directed teams handle a wide area of functions and work with a minimum of supervision. In fact, self-directed teams have a wide variety of responsibility, from goal setting, organizing work process and schedules, and sorting out roles and responsibility, to monitoring results and taking action when results do not meet requirement. Self-directed work teams require significant leadership commitment. They also need trust between management and employees. They have to accept new and also sometimes ambiguous roles in the team, and they also must be willing to invest in time and money for training and development of teams. Normally, self-directed teams are prone to special challenges, such as resistance from leadership, the need to manage conflict within the team, power and control issue, decision making, and also team to receive feedback. Next, second types of team is virtual team. Organization created virtual teams because organization nowadays they were increasingly diverse and geographically distributed, and of course they want to respond to the global customer environment and take advantage of appetites located throughout the world. Virtual team is where the members work together through electronic means with minimal face-to-face interaction. They may hold face-to-face meetings, conducting most teams meetings through computer-mediated communications or other technologies. However, some of the challenges faced by virtual team, which are sometimes there's a lack of trust and mutual understanding, violated expectation, in which it means that members may find differences in use of different technologies. Next would be lack of training and effective use of communication technologies. And finally, lack of effective team leadership, means leading a virtual team requires a significant investment of time. And of course, the leader has to establish a team trust, evaluate and measure progress to ensure participation, in which all using distant technology. Next, special types of team is cross-functional teams. Cross-functional teams are a response to the increasing complexity of operations in many organizations, and there is a demand for rapid race, focus, and also problem solving. Basically, a cross-functional team is a small collection of individuals from diverse functional specialization within the organization, and they are usually not part of the same department, but represent various departments, units, or geographies, and they are also often brought together for a defined period to work on a specific project or problem. So, intervention to enhance team effectiveness can come from two general philosophy, which are team development and team interventions. Team development proactively encourage teams to develop healthier groups, and it might help in team of developing a new team with startup needs. For existing teams, the team might help in terms of moving from stage 1 to stage 2 of the model, which consisted forming stage, storming stage, norming stage, performing stage, and also adjourning stage. Team intervention, in contrast, is actually employing a problem-solving approach to team building, in which it helps establish work groups, identify and address obstacles and constraints to high performance. Basically, these are likely to be more reactive than proactive, designed to address a problem that a team is experiencing. For example, member on a team, they may experience role conflict and confusion. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Aimi Shafia. So we proceed with data gathering for the intervention. Data gathering for intervention has two, which is team diagnostic survey and team diagnostic meeting. So for the time that the survey has different significance, but they will ask the team members to rate about the team, such as members are clear about their role, whether they know the group's goals, whether the group use effective decision making strategy, and also the group use effective conflict management strategy or not. So the team diagnosis meeting is allowed the group itself to assess its own functioning, usually by face to face. So the team member, they will discuss their team strength and weakness, and they will design their own action plan to address this, which may involve one or more to building intervention. So there are 6 team building intervention that has been commonly used for the common needs of a high performing team. Firstly, is a team startup and transition meeting. It's a normal for a team to create a new team for a new project, and they will disband towards the end of the project. So it's advantageous for team because they can use the experience and skill of team members in a one project, so they can reduce the needs, reduce the risk, and reduce the problems that may happen during the task. Then the sample startup and or transition meeting has been outlined. There are 7, which is introduction of each team members, talk with a leader, exploration of team charter, mission and purpose, exploration of team goals and objective, exploration of team members' roles and responsibility, agreement on team norms and guideline for work, and lastly is agreement on team members. For the second is confrontation meetings, the day long session of any type of team. The team will examine its own effectiveness and help in develop action plans to address major areas of ineffectiveness and dissatisfaction. So there are 7 phases of confrontation meeting. Phase 1 is a climate setting for 45 minutes to 1 hour, when leader expect an open and honest discussion. So for the phase 2, information collecting for 1 hour by dividing several subgroups to get a list of obstacles to productive goal achievement and suggesting that will improve the organization. And phase 3 is information sharing for 1 hour, when a subgroup will report the information to the larger group. And phase 4, priority setting and group action planning for 35 minutes, when a group is reformed into functional units, sitting with their normal units to identify the issues to be prioritized. So the phase 5 is organization action planning for 1 or 2 hours, subgroup prioritized with the larger group. Phase 6, immediate follow-up to to top team for 1 to 3 hours when top management will do a private meeting among the top management regarding the issue and how and what is the action taken to resolve the issues. And lastly, if phase 7 progress review for 2 hours, a follow-up meeting to know the progress within 4 to 6 weeks after the confrontation meetings. So for the third is a role negotiation and role analysis. Role negotiation puts team member in the position of negotiating responsibility among themselves without needing a leader to make decision for the team. So role negotiation requires an environment of openness and safety, comfort in expressing disagreement and getting beyond disagree. The ability to express one's wants and needs, a mutual commitment to each other and to the group. So number 4 is the work redesign. When a person finds a job is designed well, will make people feel motivated and want to contribute more effectively to the outcomes that team required. Yes, 3 dimensions for the head-man and all-hand model, which is firstly is a level of effort brought to bear on the group task. For the skill variety, task identify, task significant, autonomy and feedback. Number 2 is an amount of knowledge and skill applied to task work, and lastly awareness of a group knows about performance process. So there are several principles that can help change agent works with the team to design more effectively by Helpman and Oldham on 1980. Firstly is a combining task for natural work units, establishing client relationship, particularly loading the job, and lastly is opening feedback and channel. So number 5 is workout, a problem solving methodology. When they want to identify and eliminate unnecessary work that might be taking up extensive time or resources but there is adding little values. Work that is overcrowded in nature or work not meeting expectation because of process error or other deficiency. There's 5-step process starting on introduction, brainstorming, gallery of ideas, action planning and town meeting. Lastly is the administrative inquiry. They have 4 steps by Coprider and Whitney on 2005. Firstly is discovery. Discovery is engaging the team and relevant stakeholder on a dialogue about strength, best practice, accomplishment and rewarding experience. Number 2 is dream. Participants look for the future for imagining how things could be, articulating and sharing their vision for the future. And third is design. The team collaborative construct a vision for a new future and action that move the team or organization to a desirable new point. And lastly is destiny, when the discussion focus less on action plans and spreadsheet and move on and more on creating grassroots networks of interested and committed parties who empower and who freely choose to take action on their own.
Okay, back again with me. I'm going to proceed with the intergroup or inter-team intervention. Okay, in any situation, team will experience the conflict, and it might due to the economic differences or the team members' cultural belief, or obviously might be due to the miscommunication, something like that, or maybe because of the past injustice. It can be those reasons, those factors can be the reason why the conflict occur. Okay, so how to reduce the intergroup conflict between few groups, between groups, how to reduce the conflict. The first one, we can try to increase the intergroup contact first, and then we can try to implement a subordinate goal, or else try to find the common enemies. And last, try to exchange the team member. So maybe this kind of way can help us to reduce the conflict, right? So we're going to proceed with the famous intergroup intervention. Based on what Dr. Shikin said just now, the famous intergroup intervention is actually the microcosm group. What is a microcosm group? Actually, this is the first time I've heard about the microcosm group, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so actually, microcosm group, they like represent their group. Okay, for example, the representative of IT department, or else a representative of sales department, and etc. And this microcosm group is actually will break down the boundaries created by the different organization structure. For example, like collecting the data, analyze the problem, and more. So this group will give advantages for the company. One of the advantages is they will bring together all the representative. Okay, so for the next subtopic, we will proceed with my other team members. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nur Kamila Betiarasali. So I will continue with chapter 11, whole organization and multiple organization intervention. The purpose of this topic is of a larger scale and order intervention in a larger system is to make lasting change in the character and performance of an organization, a standalone business unit or larger department. There are three categories, which is organizational structure, organizational culture assessment and change, organizational design and structure. Lastly, directional intervention. For the directional intervention, there are three, which is strategy planning and real-time strategic change, scenario planning, and search conferences of future search. Okay, for the characteristics, there are three, which is partitional role, participant, and timeline. For the participant, is to increase participant informally leadership on decision, increase adoption rate, and cycle time of change. Better knowledge seen, problem can be examined from multiple angles, and they can learn about problem perspective and challenge that they never meet. Okay, next, the timeline. The change need rapid the need rapid change has rarely organization consist a single intervention activity. They often involve multiple over larger period. Partitional role is normally role change as larger group as organizational member to take primary responsibility for generating and analyzing data. They also know as role of community organizational who structure, encourage, and help focus the issue. So next, organizational culture assessment and change. There are seven types. Language and nepo jargon is how organization members speak to one another using what term? Communication. Who communicate to whom on what topic using what media. Artifact is such as picture or poster. Story, method, and legends, which is what story from past resonates with organizational member to recall lesson. For the fifth, ceremony, rite or ritual, formal or informal gathering event in which a standard script to be followed. Value, ethic and moral code, which doing what is right by doing quickly, exhaustive study of all possible options in another organization. Lastly, decision making style, who making final decision and how communication. Okay, so the culture type, we they have four: clan, adulture, hierarchy, and market. For the clan is be identified with a group as family with teamwork. Adicom is innovation is prizes larger of independences and autonomy. Hierarchy, traditional formality are dominant value. Lastly, market member, competitor, hardworking and demanding. For the organizational structure, is to be a decision process to bring about a coherence between the goal or purpose for which the organization exists, the pattern of the division of labor and inter-unit coordinating, and the people who will do the work. Okay. There are the STAR model. The STAR model have structure, strategy, processor, reward, and pupil. For the strategy is the organization direction or long-term vision. Structure is role, responsibility, relationship among function. Processor, decision making. Processors, integration value, integrative role. Reward is compensation and recognition, goal and measurement system. Lastly, pupil, hiring performance review and train and development. Stephen Five-Pace has a preparation of change, choosing design, creating the high-level design, handling the translation, reviewing the design.